Hello, boys and girls. My name is Miss Dawn, and I am here from Trinity United Methodist Church to share lots of information and fun stories with you about pumpkins. Now, normally, when you drive down Turner McCall Boulevard this time of year, you pass what a lot of people probably call the pumpkin church. And we have pumpkins all in our front yard, and people can come buy pumpkins, and we do field trips, kind of like what we're doing today, where we show you pumpkins and we teach you different things about pumpkins. But like a lot of things right now, it just didn't happen the way it normally does. But that's okay, because we came up with a way to still share this information with you and for us to have a good time. I'm standing in this pumpkin patch here with my scarecrow friend, Miss Sally, and she's going to help me tell you guys about pumpkins today. Now, and sometimes during this, I'm going to need your help. So I'm going to need everybody to put their listening ears on, because whenever you hear this sound, you are going to need to advance the slide so that we can move on in our presentation. Now, Sally and I are standing in a field here with lots of orange pumpkins. And whenever we think about pumpkins, this is what we think of most of the time. There's pumpkins that we bring home and we carve into jack-o'-lanterns, or maybe you get one of those really cool kits and you carve something besides just a face into it. Those are really fun. And we see those a lot this time of year. But did you know that just like people and just like dogs and cats and flowers and anything that grows, pumpkins come in all different shapes, sizes, colors. They can all be very different. What say we look at some of those? Now, the pumpkins that Sally and I were just standing next to, they were all orange and smooth. But did you know that pumpkins can be bumpy? Look at this pumpkin here. When you touch the outside of this pumpkin, what do you think it would feel like? Can you think of something that might feel like? Pumpkins also don't have to be orange. The pumpkins in this field are all white. Have you ever seen a white pumpkin? Try to think. Look the next time you're somewhere where they have pumpkins, and you might find a white one. Pumpkins can also be green, just like the ones here in this wagon. We always have these at the pumpkin patch, and they look kind of silvery sometimes in the morning. Have you ever seen a green pumpkin like this? You can also find great, big, giant pumpkins, just like these. Pumpkins so big that they had to be picked up with a tractor because people can't pick them up on their own. They would be bigger than even you. Wow, have you ever seen a pumpkin like that? There are even pumpkins that are teeny tiny enough that they can fit in the palm of your hand. You may have some of these inside your house, on a table or a mantle. The next time you're somewhere where they have pumpkins, look and see if they have any that are small enough to fit in the palm of your hand. Well, boys and girls, we've looked at lots of different pumpkins. But did you know all of those pumpkins have one thing in common? They all started as a tiny little seed. Just like if you've ever had a puppy or a kitten and you've watched it grow and become an adult dog or cat, pumpkins start as a seed, turn into a plant, have a blossom. The blossom turns into a tiny little green pumpkin, and that green pumpkin grows and grows and grows until it matures and is the color that is going to stay forever. Maybe orange or white, or maybe it's a bumpy pumpkin like the ones we just looked at. They all start that way, whether it's the teeny tiny ones or the great big giant ones. Welcome back, boys and girls. Isn't it fun to learn how things grow and how the pumpkin started as a tiny seed and turns into the jack-o'-lantern that sits on your porch? I just love to listen to things like that. Thanks for coming back to my classroom here, and we're going to finish the day with something that's just a little bit fun. Because while we've enjoyed learning a lot, we want to have a little bit of fun too. Every year, most people have dressed up for Halloween, or they go to some sort of carnival, or they have maybe a big cookout in their neighborhood, or some sort of trunk or treat, or boo fest, or something where maybe you go and get candy and you wear a fun costume and you spend a lot of time with your friends. This time of year is so much fun for that. If you look out the window of my classroom there, you see that the leaves have turned colors. They're starting to do that outside. And it looks like, looking through the window, like it's raining just a little bit. And there's nothing better on a nice, cool fall rainy day than to read a good book or to hear a good story. Well, Miss Debbie from Trinity is here to tell you 2 stories to end our field trip.
Hello, boys and girls. This is Deborah Lewis, coming to you from Trinity United Methodist Church and the pumpkin patch. Not the pumpkins we were expecting to receive, but pumpkins nonetheless. The story I want to tell you today is the story of the Gunny Wolf. It's an African folktale, and it goes like this. Once upon a time, there was a little girl who lived with her daddy on the edge of a jungle. Oh, a jungle where there are lions, and tigers. But the most fearsome animal in all the jungle was the Gunny Wolf. One day, the little girl's daddy needed to go to town on the other side of the jungle. And he asked the little girl if she wanted to go with him. And the little girl said, no. So her daddy looked at her and said, well, I guess you're old enough to stay at home by yourself on one condition. You must close the door and lock it and don't let anyone in until I come home. And the little girl promised that's just what she'd do. And she walked her daddy to the door and she waved goodbye until her daddy had disappeared into the jungle. And then she was gonna turn around and go in the house and lock the door just like she had told her daddy. But just one step outside the door was a great big red flower. And oh, this little girl loved to pick flowers. So she took one step and she picked it. And then she was going to turn around and go in the house and lock the door just like she told her daddy she would. But just one more step outside the door was a great big purple flower. And oh, this little girl loved purple. So she took one more step and she picked it. And then she was going to turn around and go in the house and lock the door just like she told her daddy she was going to. But one more step was, oh my goodness, it was a pink flower with purple polka dots. Well, she had to pick that one. So she took one more step and she picked it. And then she forgot all about going in the house and locking the door like she told her daddy. She kept walking and picking flowers and walking and picking flowers and walking and picking flowers until she had a great big beautiful bouquet of flowers to give her daddy. And there was not another flower anywhere to be seen. And then she remembered. And she turned around to go in the house and lock the door just like she told her daddy. She couldn't see her house anymore. She looked around. She couldn't see her house. She had walked so far picking flowers that she was lost. Lost in the jungle where there are lions and tigers. Oh, and most fearsome of all, the Gunny Wolf. And the little girl turned around and there he was. It was the Gunny Wolf and whoomp. He had her. Little girl, said the Gunny Wolf, don't you move. I wouldn't move, Mr. Gunny Wolf, said the little girl. "Little girl," said the Gunny Wolf, "sing me a song. Sing me a beautiful song." Now the little girl was so frightened that she could not remember any song she had ever heard. She couldn't remember Jesus Loves Me. She couldn't remember Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star. She couldn't even remember the ABC song. So the little girl made up a song to sing to the Gunny Wolf. And this is what it sounded like. La-dee-da-dee. La-dee-da-dee. Oh, man. That little girl sounds like she really needs some help. I have an idea. If I sing the song with her, would you sing the song with her too? And together we can help her sing that song to the Gunny Wolf? Would you sing with me? La-dee-da-dee, la-dee-da-dee. Come on, sing with me. La-dee-da-dee, la-dee-da-dee. Is that a silly song? I think it may be one of the silliest songs I have ever heard. But the Gunny Wolf liked it. And do you know what he did? That silly Gunny Wolf went to sleep. And when the Gunny Wolf went to sleep, he forgot if you don't hold a little girl very tightly but very gently that she can slip away. Can you help the little girl slip away? Pitter-pat, 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 pitter-pat. Oh no! The Gunny Wolf woke up. Boom, 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 boom. Whomp! "Little girl," said the Gunny Wolf, "you moved." "I didn't move, Mr. Gunny Wolf," said the little girl. "Little girl," said the Gunny Wolf, "sing me a song. Sing me a beautiful song." Come on, can you help the little girl sing? Let's sing it with her. La-dee-da-dee, la-dee-da-dee. What do you think that Gunny Wolf did? Silly Gunny Wolf, he went to sleep. What do you think the little girl did? You're right, she slipped away. Pitter-pat, pitter-pat. This time she went faster. Can you make her go faster? She went faster, she was running, and then suddenly, there was her house. And if she could see her house in the distance, she wasn't lost anymore. That made her run even faster. Can you make her run even faster? Little girl run even faster. And then, oh no, the Gunny Wolf woke up. Boom, 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 boom. When the little girl heard the Gunny Wolf coming behind her, she ran even faster. How fast can you make that little girl run? She ran in the house and she shut the door and she locked it right in the Gunny Wolf's face. Ooh. Ooh. And you know something? Nobody has seen that Gunny Wolf since then. But this morning, when I was recording this story, I heard a sound over behind these pumpkins, and it sounded like this. La-dee-da-dee, la-dee-da-dee. It was the Gunny Wolf trying to sing himself to sleep. Boys and girls, did I really hear the Gunny Wolf this morning? No, I did not. That part of the story is pretend, just like the rest of the story. Thank you, boys and girls. Hello, boys and girls. This is Debbie Shaw Lewis again, and I'm going to read you a book. It's a story called What Was I Scared Of? from the book The Sneetches and Other Stories by Dr. Seuss. What was I scared of? Well, I was walking in the woods and I saw nothing scary, for I have never been afraid of anything. Well, not very. There I was, deep in the woods, when suddenly I spied them. I saw a pair of pale green pants with nobody inside them. I was not scared, and yet I stopped. What could those pants be there for? What could a pair of empty pants be standing in the air for? And then they moved. Oh, those empty pants, they kind of started jumping. And then my heart, I must admit, it kind of started thumping. I got out. I got out fast as I could go, sir. I was not scared. But pants like that I did not care for. No, sir. After that, a week went by. Then one dark night in Greenwich, I had to do an errand there and fetch some Greenwich spinach. Well, I had fetched my spinach and had started back through town when those pants raced round a corner and they almost knocked me down. I lost my Greenwich spinach and I did not even care. I ran for home. Believe me, I had really had a scare. Now, pants like that were never made for pale green pants to ride 'em, especially spooky pale green pants with nobody inside them. The next night I went fishing for doubt trout on Rover River, and those pants came rowing toward me, and I started in to shiver. By now I was so frightened that I'll tell you, but I hate to. I screamed and rowed away and lost my hook and line and bait too. I ran and found a brickle bush and hid myself away. I got brickles in my breeches, but I stayed there anyway. I stayed all night. The next night, too. I'd be there still, no doubt. But I had to do an errand, so the next night I went out. I had to do an errand, had to pick a peck of snide in a dark and gloomy snide field that was almost 9 miles wide. I said, I do not fear those empty pants with nobody inside them. I said and said and said those words. I said them, but I lied them. I reached inside a snide bush, and the next thing that I knew, I felt my hand touch someone, and I bet that you know who. There I was, caught in the snide, and in that dreadful place, those spooky empty pants and I were standing, face to face. I yelled for help, I screamed, I shrieked, I howled, I yelled, I cried, oh, save me from those empty pants with nobody inside. And then a strange thing happened. Those pants began to cry. Those pants began to tremble. They were just as scared as I. I never heard such whimpering, and I began to see that I was just as strange to them as they were strange to me. I put my arm around their waist and sat right down beside them. I calmed them down. Poor empty pants with nobody inside them. And now we meet quite often, those empty pants and I, and we never shake or tremble. We just smile and we say, hi. Hoi. Did you know that's what that would sound like? Hoi. And that's the end of the story, What Was I Scared Of? From the book, The Sneetches and Other Stories by Dr. Seuss.
This has been such a fun time. And next year, all of us at Trinity can't wait to see you at the patch.